AMC just had an incredible week. The stock is up over 40% from where it was a week prior, and all of this bullish sentiment is beginning to get a ton of eyes focused on this company. But with this success, there's a growing number of new investors that are worried about the slight dips that we're beginning to see on the day-to-day. Now that AMC is moving up strong, we are about to see some of the worst types of manipulation used to try to bring it back down. So let's talk about what we can expect from the price action of AMC. Let's look at ways that it might be manipulated, and let's get to it. What's up YouTube, James from Thursday Media here, and in this video we're looking at some of the price action of AMC and ways that it might be manipulated now that we have bullish momentum. AMC stock has had a lot of great movement this past week, as more positive volume and new investors begin taking a stronger position in the company. While many of us have been holding for months, it's not unreasonable to assume that there's new money now buying the stock, and that these people will have a little bit less conviction in the company. These will be the target of negative news and bad press. But most of the recent news has been great. The shelf offering was completed, the summer movie season is just starting, and theaters are open. This is bringing in new investors, but it's safe to say they haven't been following the story for months and are now hopping in to ride the wave, which is great until they see a small pullback like we did on Friday and their conviction gets tested. And an easy way to test your own conviction is to hit the like button so that YouTube knows that we're still in the game. When you have a ton of new investors just buying in at $12, $13, or $14, it's exciting to see that kind of interest coming in. But I'm sure many hopped in thinking that the squeeze was happening, only to see that pullback on Friday and begin questioning and selling their positions. It's a critical time to get new investors active in the community and make sure that they're reading about this stock. And this is mainly because they will be some of the easiest shareholders to manipulate. I will reiterate that there will always be some pullback in the stock price after a hard run up. That doesn't mean that an entry point is bad just because you're red on the first couple of days. Those that bought in at 14 and sold at 13 will kick themselves again if it goes to 20. What's important to understand is that this is the prime time to manipulate the stock, and particularly investor sentiment. Hedge funds can only continue digging this hole now through dubious market tactics. The next and most powerful tool that they have right now is to get investors to question their position and fight amongst each other to create negative sentiment. Be prepared for this type of manipulation. Be prepared for the daily round of news articles telling you to sell. Be prepared for individuals and bots flooding our channels, Reddit boards, Discord servers, and Twitter telling us that we need to sell because the squeeze is over. Be prepared for spoofing, improper use of dark pools, and altered data that impacts the price action and encourages those recent investors to sell and slow the upward trend of the stock. At the same time, be willing to help newcomers that aren't as familiar with what's going on. Be supportive of our fellow retail investors that decided to pursue GameStop instead of AMC, and vice versa. The more positive that this community remains and educational that we try to be, the more likely that new investors will stay and begin doing their own research. Most of us know we are convicted to buying and holding. We've been at it for months. Let's help build that same sentiment for the new people. Now, as far as the price action is concerned, the squeeze hasn't happened, and we know this because the number of borrowed shares is still high. We have seen some short positions close, but this number has been pretty small. Also, don't forget that Friday was an example of what we can expect when options are near expiring. Having a large set of options near the dollar amount the stock is at puts hedge funds in a position to have to purchase those shares, so it was to their benefit to throw everything they had to keep the price under $13. I would expect that we'll begin to see the price of AMC rise again next week and spike really hard if margin calls aren't covered. The key takeaway is that we're going to see a campaign of negative news, articles telling us and new investors to sell, and attacks to shake out paper hands. Stay cool and don't sweat the day-to-day, and try to communicate effectively with new investors just hopping in. Then we can all continue to profit together. But as always, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a regular guy with a regular job who'd like to welcome all of the new AMC shareholders. So always make sure to do your own research and make financial decisions that you're comfortable with. If you're new to investing and you need a place to start, I'll leave you some links down in the description below that'll help get you started. Some of these are even offering free stocks when you sign up and make your first deposit. If you like this video and you want more like it, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I post every Thursday and Sunday unless I throw in a bonus. Keep reaching out to those new apes, make sure that you stay up to date, and thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.